Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel, leave your like and your comments. God in the heart. Genesis 31. 1. Then I heard the words of the sons of Laban, who said, Jacob has taken all that was our father's, and out of what was our father's he made all this glory. 2. Also Jacob saw the face of Laban, and, behold, it was not toward him as before. 3. And the Lord said to Jacob, Return to the land of your fathers, and to your kindred, and I will be with you. 4. Then Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah into the field to his flock. 5. And he said unto them, I see that your father's face is not towards me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. 6. And you yourselves know that with all my effort I have served your father. 7. But your father deceived me and changed my salary 10 times, but God did not permit him to harm me. 8. When he said like this, The sprinkled will be your wages, then all the flocks were sprinkled. And when he said like this, The striped ones will be your wages, then all the herds gave striped ones. 9. So God took away your father's cattle, and gave them to me. 10. And it came to pass, at the time when the flock conceived, I lifted up my eyes and saw in a dream, and, behold, the goats, which covered the sheep, were striped, speckled, and spotted. 11. And the angel of God said to me in a dream, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. 12. And he said, Lift up now thine eyes, and behold all the goats that cover the flock, which are striped, speckled, and piebald, because I have seen all that Laban did to you. 13. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed a pillar, where you made a vow to me. Now arise, leave this land, and return to the land of your kindred. 14. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there still for us part or inheritance in our father's house? 15. Does he not regard us as strangers? For he sold us, and ate all our money. 16. Because all the wealth, which God took from our father, is ours and our children's. Now therefore, do all that God has commanded you. 17. Then Jacob arose, putting his sons and his wives on camels. 18. And he took all his cattle, and all his goods, which he had acquired, the cattle which he had attained in Padan Aram, to go to Isaac his father, into the land of Canaan. 19. And when Laban went to shear his sheep, Rachel stole the idols that her father had. 20. And Jacob deceived Laban the Aramean, because he did not let him know that he was fleeing. 21. And he fled with all that he had, and got up and crossed over the river, and he went to the mountain of Gilead. 22. And on the third day it was announced to Laban that Jacob had fled. 23. Then he took his brethren with him, and followed him on his way for 7 days, and he overtook him on the mountain of Gilead. 24. But God came to Laban the Aramean in a dream by night, and said to him, Take care that you do not speak to Jacob either good or bad. 25. So Laban overtook Jacob, and Jacob pitched his tent in that mountain, and Laban and his brothers armed him in the mountain of Gilead. 26. Then Laban said to Jacob, What hast thou done, that thou hast deceived me, and carried away my daughters as captives by the sword? 27. Why did you flee in secret, and trick me, and not tell me, that I should send you away with mirth, with singing, with timbrel, and with harp? 28. You also did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Foolishly didst thou now act thus. 29. I had power in my hand to harm you, but the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Take care that you do not speak to Jacob either good or bad. 30. And now if you wanted to go away, because you longed to go back to your father's house, why did you steal my gods? 31. Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I was saying to myself, If perhaps you would not take your daughters from me. 32. With whomever you find your gods, let him not live. Recognize before our brothers what is yours than what is with me, and take it for yourself. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. 33. Then Laban went into Jacob's tent, and into Leah's tent, and into the two maidservants' tent, and found them not, and leaving Leah's tent, he entered Rachel's tent. 34. But Rachel had taken the idols and put them in a camel's saddle, and sat on them, and Laban felt all the tent, and found them not. 35. And she said to her father, Let not my lord be angry, that I cannot rise up before thee, because I have the custom of women. And he searched, but did not find the idols. 36. Then Jacob was wroth, and contended with Laban, and Jacob answered, and said to Laban, What is my transgression? What is my sin, that you have so furiously pursued me? 37. Having felt all my furniture, what did you think of all the furniture in your house? Lay it here before my brothers and your brothers, and let them judge between us both. 38. These 20 years I was with you, your ewes and your goats never miscarried, and the rams of your flock I have not eaten. 39. Did I not bring you the torn one? I paid him, what was stolen by day and what was stolen by night from my hand you required. 40. I was like this, by day the heat consumed me, and by night the frost, and my sleep fled from my eyes. 41. Now I have been in your house 20 years, 14 years I served you for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, but my salary has changed 10 times. 42. If the God of my father, the God of Abraham and the fear of Isaac had not been with me, surely you would send me away now empty. God saw my affliction, and the work of my hands, and rebuked you last night. 43. Then Laban answered and said to Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and this flock is my flock, and all that you see is mine, and what shall I do today with these daughters of mine, or with their sons whom they have borne? 44. Now therefore, come, and let us make a covenant, you and I, as a witness between me and you. 45. Then Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. 46. And Jacob said unto his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones, and made a heap, and ate there on that heap. 47. And Laban called his name Jegar-sahadutha, but Jacob named him Galeed. 48. Then Laban said, Let this heap be a witness between me and you today. That's why it was called Galeed. 49. And Mizpeh, because he said, The Lord watch between me and you, when we are far apart one from another. 50. If you afflict my daughters, and if you take wives besides my daughters, no one is with us, see that God is witness between me and you. 51. And Laban said to Jacob, Here is this heap, and here is this pillar that I have set up between you and me. 52. This heap be witness, and this pillar be witness, that I will not pass this heap over to you, and that you will not pass over this heap and this pillar to me, for harm. 53. The God of Abraham and the God of Nahor, the God of your father, judge between us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. 54. And Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain, and invited his brethren, to eat bread, and they ate bread and spent the night on the mountain. 55. And Laban rose early in the morning, and kissed his sons and his daughters, and blessed them, and departed, and Laban returned to his place. Genesis 32. 1. Jacob also went his way, and the angels of God found him. 2. And Jacob said, when he saw them, This is the army of God. And he called that place Mahanaim. 3. And Jacob sent messengers before him to Esau his brother to the land of Seir, the territory of Edom. 4. And he commanded them, saying, Thus shall ye say to my lord Esau, Thus saith Jacob thy servant, As a sojourner I dwelt with Laban, and tarried there until now. 5. And I have oxen and donkeys, sheep, and male and female servants, and I sent to tell my lord, that he might find favor in your eyes. 6. And the messengers returned to Jacob, saying, We went to your brother Esau, and he also comes to meet you, and 400 men with him. 7. Then Jacob was very afraid and distressed, and he divided the people that were with him, and the sheep, and the oxen, and the camels, into 2 bands. 8. For he said, if Esau comes to one band and strikes him, the other band will escape. 9. And Jacob said, God of my father Abraham, and God of my father Isaac, the Lord, who said to me, return to your country, into your kindred, and I will do you good. 10. Smaller am I than all the kindnesses, and than all the faithfulness you have shown to your servant, because with my staff I passed over this Jordan, and now I have become 2 bands. 11. Deliver me, I pray you, from the hand of my brother, from the hand of Esau, because I fear him, peradventure he will not come and smite me, and the mother with the children. 12. And you said, I will surely do you good, and I will make your descendants like the sand of the sea, which cannot be numbered for multitude. 13. And he spent there that night, and he took of what came to his hand, a present for his brother Esau. 14. 200 female goats and 20 male goats, 200 ewes and 20 rams. 15. 30 milk camels with their young, 40 cows and 10 steers, 20 female donkeys and 10 colts. 16. And he gave them into the hand of his servants, each herd by itself, and said to his servants, pass over before me, and put a space between herd and herd. 17. And he commanded the first, saying, when Esau my brother shall meet thee, and ask thee, saying, whose art thou, and whither art thou going, and whose are these before thee? 18. Then thou shalt say, they are thy servant Jacob's, a present sent unto my lord Esau, and behold, he himself is also behind us. 19. And he also commanded the second, and the third, and all that followed the flocks, saying, according to this same word you shall speak to Esau, when you find him. 20. And ye shall also say, behold, thy servant Jacob cometh after us. For he said, I will placate him with the gift that goes before me, and afterward I will see his face, perhaps he will accept me. 21. So he passed the gift on before him, but he spent that night in the camp. 22. And he rose that same night, and took his 2 wives, and his 2 maidservants, and his 11 sons, and passed over the ford of Jabbok. 23. And he took them and brought them over the brook, and he sent away all that he had. 24. Jacob, however, was left alone, and a man wrestled with him until the dawn rose. 25. And when he saw that he could not prevail against him, he touched the hollow of his thigh, and the hollow of Jacob's thigh was dislocated, wrestling with him. 26. And he said, let me go, because the dawn has risen. But he said, I will not let you go unless you bless me. 27. And he said to him, what is your name? And he said, Jacob. 28. Then he said, thy name shall be called no more Jacob, but Israel, for as a prince thou hast struggled with God and with men, and prevailed. 29. And Jacob asked him, and said, give me, I pray thee, to know thy name. And he said, why do you ask after my name? And he blessed him there. 30. And Jacob called the name of that place Peniel, because he said, I have seen God face to face, and my soul was saved. 31. And the sun rose on him as he passed over to Peniel, and he limped from his thigh. 32. Therefore the children of Israel do not eat the shriveled sinew, which is on the hollow of the thigh, to this day, because he had touched the hollow of Jacob's thigh on the shriveled sinew. Genesis 33. 1. And Jacob lifted up his eyes, and looked, and, behold, Esau came, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children between Leah, and Rachel, and the 2 handmaidens. 2. And he put the handmaidens and their children in front, and Leah and her children behind, but to Rachel and Joseph the last. 3. And he himself went on ahead of them and bowed to the ground 7 times, until he came to his brother. 4. Then Esau ran to meet him, and embraced him, and fell on his neck, and kissed him, and wept. 5. Then he lifted up his eyes, and saw the women, and the little ones, and said, Who are these with you? And he said, The children which God has graciously given to your servant. 6. Then came the handmaidens, they and their children, and bowed down. 7. And Leah also came with her children, and they bowed down, and then came Joseph and Rachel and bowed down. 8. And Esau said, What good is all this band that I have found? And he said, To find favor in the sight of my Lord. 9. But Esau said, I have enough, my brother, be for yourself what you have. 10. Then said Jacob, No, if now I have found grace in your eyes, I ask you to take my gift from my hand, because I have seen your face, as if I had seen the face of God, and you took pleasure in me. 11. Take, I beg you, my blessing, which was brought to you, because God has graciously given it to me, and because I have everything. And he urged him until he took it. 12. And he said, Let us walk, and I will go before you. 13. But he said to him, My Lord knows that these children are tender, and that I have sheep and milk cows with me. If they wear them out for just one day, the whole herd will die. 14. Now let my Lord go before his servant, and I will go as a guide little by little, according to the pace of the cattle that go before me, and according to the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir. 15. And Esau said, Let me leave some of my people with you. And he said, What is this for? It is enough that I find grace in the eyes of my Lord. 16. So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. 17. But Jacob went to Succoth and built himself a house, and he made huts for his cattle, therefore he called that place Succoth. 18. And Jacob came safely to Salem, the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, when he came from Paddan Aram, and he pitched his tent before the city. 19. And he bought a portion of the field where he had spread his tent, from the hand of the children of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of money. 20. And he built an altar there, and called it, God, the God of Israel. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe to the channel, leave your like and your comments. God in the heart.